Good morning, everybody. All right, are you ready for a brand new DC update? Well, apparently the sky has fallen, and Zack Snyder calls The Flash a masterpiece. There you have it from the man himself. All right, all of you Snyder haters out there, pile on top of me and shut me up. I just laugh when I see this stuff. Guys, yes, apparently, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Zack Snyder made these comments. That's according to the Hollywood Reporter. Until we hear the man himself say it, I'm going to reserve judgment. I do that. Tom Cruise did come out and say he liked The Flash. So did Stephen King. And I do believe that those were paid advertisements. I do not believe those were their honest opinions on this, unless they're vying for writing jobs there in Warner Brothers, or if Tom Cruise wants to be a part of the DCU. That's my guess on why those guys did these things. Now, a lot of people will come at me and say, what, are you going to refute what they're saying? You're going to call them liars? I have a couple of people doing that. And that is not the case. Now, we're going to look at a couple of pictures, and I'm going to show you what I based off of, my video yesterday telling people that he had not said this. And I'm going to show you something that was fabricated by anti-Snyder people here. Let me share my screen. So this was the first picture here, and this is from Zack Snyder's Vero account. All right, if you're not following him on there, this is where he did the whole SnyderCon. And somebody posted this, and you could see the hashtag is Snyderverse is over. Best DC movie ever. 368 comments, 44,000. I don't even know what that is. That's some weird thing. 44,240 hearts. This is 100% false. I follow Vero. I follow Zack Snyder on Vero, as well as Ray Fisher. He never posted this. This is a complete lie. He never said this. All right. This is where I was basing my information on yesterday. But then the Hollywood Reporter comes out and posts this. And this is what Snyder said. Michael Keaton is Batman. That was the Batman of my generation. So I was really enthralled by how they utilized his Bruce Wayne in this film, said Snyder. And I will totally agree with him. The Michael Keaton stuff is awesome. Now, the introduction with him is a little goofy and a little silly. Again, there's nothing but jokes throughout this movie. And they do make the introduction with him rather silly. But how they handle him after that, and when he finally suits up, is pretty freaking awesome. I would say outside of what Zack Snyder did with the Batman vs. Superman warehouse scene, there is my favorite Batman sequence in this film by Andy Muschietti. He goes on to say, Andy Muschietti, he's a phenomenal director and a great guy. He directed a masterpiece, no doubt about it. All right, so this is where this all comes from. And guys, you have to understand something here. Do you really think that Zack Snyder is going to come out and criticize this film in any way, shape, or form? Heck no. The one thing you're going to learn is that Henry Cavill, Zack Snyder, and Ben Affleck are stand-up guys. They are very respectful of other people's visions. They are never going to say a bad word against anybody else, not the studio and not the director. And this is how Zack Snyder's Justice League actually came to be, was that Snyder sat back and just let things happen, bit his tongue, and was the consummate gentleman. And that's what he's being here. He is not going to criticize it in any way, shape, or form. Neither is Tom Cruise, and neither is someone like Stephen King. Everyone is acting like this movie is the second coming. It is not the second coming. I guarantee you that. And I'm going to talk about my feelings here, and then I'm going to dig into those spoilers again at the end of this, so I'll warn you before I talk about something that I saw earlier. So let's talk about just all of the hoopla around the film. This movie is not the second coming. It is nowhere near. They have hyped this thing up so much that you're going to do, there's no place but to go down. Now, a lot of you are going to go see it and then come back and say, yeah, it was a masterpiece. You were a liar. They're going to do that just to spite me. I'm not saying it's a terrible film. If you remember, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It is not a terrible film. Apparently, the version I saw was butchered to a degree, and we'll see. I don't think it's nearly as bad as what people claim it was. I think the final version is going to be 99% of what I saw. I think the only thing that's going to change pretty much are the after-credit scenes and maybe a scene or two sprinkled in. But I won't know until I see it, because I'm telling you, once Supergirl comes into the mix, there was some very disjointed storytelling. And they spend so much time with Barry and Barry towards the first half of the film that it takes away from the story building in the second half. And that is my biggest flaw with this movie, is the storytelling could have been done better. Now, some people are going to be disappointed by it. I'm telling you, there are nothing but jokes throughout this whole film. The only time there aren't jokes is when there's action, and even some of that, there's some goofy things at the very end, the finale with Zod and everything, and even some of that wasn't taken seriously. And so there are jokes throughout this movie. I'm not joking. This is more of a comedy than it is anything else, with some action sprinkled in there. The good news is the action is pretty well done, especially the Batman sequence. When we've seen in the trailer where they break out Supergirl, that whole entire sequence is my favorite sequence in the whole movie. It's really well done. And Andy Muschietti does have some ability. He does have some ability. And I wouldn't mind seeing him do some stuff in the future, but he's got to tone down the jokes. I do not want a Batman that is riddled with humor, because I'm telling you, when they finally meet Bruce Wayne, there's humor throughout that entire scene, and I didn't care for it. So now I'm going to get into a few of the spoilers, some things I haven't talked about in my review yet, and some things that from something I saw yesterday. All right, now, everybody was talking about how Sil Abdul had posted this video on how this does not erase the Snyderverse. And I already talked about that. I talked about that in my original review, that they don't erase the Snyderverse, that it's still there, and that Barry Allen could easily go back. And in my last video, I talked about if he does have this conversation with Aquaman at the end of the film, and originally what they were talking about, it was going to be about Supergirl always being there. There was no Superman, and that Michael Keaton was always Batman. But that's changed, and this is one of the things Gunn has changed, and now it's going to be the fact that they're going to be talking about the new Batman that's in the DCU, but I don't think we actually get to see him. And so that has actually changed, and that is due to Gunn. That is definitely a change by Gunn. And what it shows is that there is another thread with the original Snyderverse in it. And what I think is going to, and like I said in my last video, I think it would be dickish and very selfish if Barry did not go back and try to restore the people he fought with against, Steppenwolf and in the future, Darkseid. Like, I think it would be a dick move not to want to go back and restore that timeline. I think that would be absolutely ridiculous. There are reasons why he might want to stay in this timeline, and you'll see that in the film. I'm not going to spoil that. But one of the things I want to talk about is in regards to Michael Keaton's Batman in this film. I think there was another massive missed opportunity, because the only thing we see in this movie is Wayne Manor. We don't get to see anything of Gotham City. And with Wayne Manor, when they encounter Michael Keaton, he's like a hermit, basically. He's got long hair. They don't show you anything. Like, I think this was a missed opportunity to have Michelle Pfeiffer back as Catwoman to show that maybe they stayed together. I think that would have made the movie even better, to show something with her. They don't. Well, they do have some things in there that have to do with the Joker, but outside of that, they don't refer back to the Keaton movies at all. Like, there's no connection. It's just that he's back living as a hermit. And there's definitely more story to be told. I really wish they would have dug a little more into that, but I'm telling you, they waste too much time on Barry with Barry to move that storyline forward. And they should have really done more with these characters. I really think there is a massive missed opportunity with the storytelling. But what's there is decent. I think people are going to be entertained. Like I said, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but it is not the phenomenal film everybody claims it is. It's just simply not. And I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed and disenfranchised when they go to see it. And I believe they're doing this to really bring in, to sell more tickets. And people are going to leave somewhat disappointed. And I don't think the reviews are going to be nearly as good as everyone says it is. And if it is, I guarantee you it's from the nostalgia. Nostalgia is a very powerful tool. I am constantly chasing nostalgia in my life. I grew up in the 80s, and I have fond memories of the 80s. I exclusively listen to 80s music. I have a whole 80s rock thing that I listen to that I'm constantly adding songs to. I think I have like 70 songs in this playlist, and it's what I listen to when I do yard work and other things that, where I'm not in the studio. And so I'm constantly chasing nostalgia. And Batman 89 came out in 89, and I have fond memories of seeing that movie in the summer of 89 along with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And I think I saw the original Batman 3 times with Michael Keaton, and then Batman Returns, I remember I saw that one twice. And so I've always seen these DC movies multiple times, but I'm not anymore. I saw Birds of Prey once. I saw Suicide Squad at home on HBO Max, and then I watched it one more time. I do have it on 4K. I watched it one other time, and I liked it less the second time. I watched Shazam 2 only once, and I don't own it yet. I'm going to wait for that to go on sale. They've lost me. Like, they have lost me as a fan. And I posted something yesterday in my comments showing that I have been a DC fan for a long time. And I find it funny when people come in and say I'm not a DC fan, because I saw Batman Begins 7 times. I saw The Dark Knight 9 times. I saw The Dark Knight Rises 3 times. I saw Man of Steel 3 times. I saw Wonder Woman 3 times. I saw Aquaman, I think, 3 times. I saw Suicide Squad, I saw 3 times. And the original. I saw Batman vs. Superman, I think, 4 times in theaters. And to say I'm only a Snyder fan is short-sighted and just stupid, people. It's just dumb. And I have no tolerance for that stuff, so it's laughable at this stage what people post. But I did want to get one more update here before I do take off for the next 4 days. I'm sure my family will not be filling in for me while I'm gone. So I will be out on the road, but if I have to, I will do a video. And that one's probably going to be just me. Those videos will just me be talking off of my iPhone, talking about all of the stuff that has come out. And I'll still be able to create my thumbnails, but they're not going to be, the audio will not be as good as what it is here. The video will still be decent, but it's not going to be obviously in my studio. So look for more updates coming up. I do plan on trying to do one more update for Indiana Jones. I may schedule it to release tomorrow. I still have the other action figure video. I'll probably have that released tomorrow as well. So there will be some content that comes out over the weekend. But if there's any more big news, I will be covering it. And even though I'm gone, like I said, I will pop in and do a video if I absolutely have to. I do appreciate all of the support. I do have somebody who reached out to me and did a pretty cool design that I saw for my channel that I'm thinking about going with them and asking them to make some tweaks. But yeah, I'm getting close to doing some branding, and I'm looking forward to pushing my channel forward, and I appreciate all the support I've had so far. I really do appreciate it. We will see you on the next video.